Good evening and welcome to the Buck Stops here. It's our way or the highway. Details emerge on just how the government wants to implement one rank, one pension. Veterans leading the ex-servicemen in protests at Jantar Mantar are aghast. The government has no business to unilaterally go ahead with one rank, one pension, they say. Why not, say sources in the government? One way or the other, one rank, one pension, OROP, will soon be a reality, perhaps 48 or 72 hours. But if that happens, where do the OROP protesters go? Has the government made it clear that enough is enough? Is there still scope for negotiation? Or have the veterans overplayed their cards? That's our first debate this evening. Also on the program, tonight, the biggest meeting between cabinet ministers of the government and the RSS since 2003, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee had a meeting this size. Union ministers, including the Prime Minister, trooped in to meet RSS leaders, explained the focus of their governance and left, but not before being advised on the path that they should pursue. Is this remote control, or should this be seen as the well-intentioned advice of Swayamsevaks for their fellow Swayamsevaks? That's later on the program. But first, our top story. The government has put its cards on the table. OROP, one rank, one pension. Was this a negotiating position of the government's way of telling veterans that the time for negotiations is over? Enough is enough. One rank, one pension will happen, but it'll happen on our terms. That's what the government seems to believe after sources reveal details of its draft OROP plan. According to this, an announcement could be made in 48 hours. An increase in pension will be done through adjustments every 5 years, not every year, as ex-servicemen want. Since there are many cases of veterans of the same rank earning different pensions, the government proposes to take the average of the maximum and minimum pension paid per rank, while protecting the pension payout of those who earn above average pensions in their rank. The benefits of one rank, one pension would be available to war widows. It would not, however, be available for those who took premature retirement. Arrears will be paid from July 2014 in 4 installments over a period of 2 years, though the arrears of widows will be cleared immediately. One rank, one pension payments will cost the government between 8 and 10,000 crore rupees annually.
उनकी इस पूरी स्टेटमेंट का खंडन करते हैं, खंडन करते हैं.
Those leading the OROP protests at Jantar Mantar in Delhi for the last 80 days say that they reject the government's decision to unilaterally implement OROP.
हम प्रोटेस्ट जारी रखेंगे, हम तेज करेंगे और हम पूरे देश के पास जाएंगे और अपनी मांग को पूरा करवाएंगे, क्योंकि अगर वो उस दायरे में नहीं है जो ऑलरेडी सैंक्शन है, तो वो हमारे लिए बेइंसाफी होगी सरकार से.
It's still unclear if we've seen the last of the negotiations between the government and the veterans on this issue. But what is clear is that the veterans, at least those who claim to speak for others across the country, are not giving up, going to the extent of holding a mega rally here on the 12th of this month.
Alarm bells were ringing in the government right since the day Delhi police made an abortive bid to evict the veterans from Jantar Mantar. The Prime Minister's office had stepped in. Eventually, the draft proposal from the government might not be the ideal OROP. But then, the government is out to erase the negative perception it was creating over the issue, and also to visibly show that it was delivering on a poll promise. In New Delhi with Vishnu Shom, Rahul Srivastava for NDTV.
So what happens now as far as one rank and one pension is concerned? Is it all over as far as the struggle of these veterans is concerned? Is it time perhaps for them to realize that it should be over, even if it's not? Joining us now to debate this, Major General Satbir Singh. He's the advisor of the United Front of Ex-Servicemen, the man who has been leading this protest for so many weeks now. In fact, all of the those on hunger strike have been on hunger strike at Jantar Mantar for more than 80 days. Group Captain V.K. Gandhi, very much his right-hand man, somebody who understands the math of OROP very, very well. General Shankar Roy Chaudhary, former Chief of Army Staff, Shekhar Gupta with us in the studio, Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP, C.R. Keshavan of the Congress. Thank you all very much for being with us. Major General Satbir Singh, do you believe that negotiations are now over?
Som, there have been no negotiations. We were twice called by the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister. Now, he just told, this is what they are offering. We told him that will not be one rank, one pension. That is all. The Chief of Army Staff facilitated the meeting, which is the second time. We hereby reject all that what has been said by you. If unilaterally that is announced, that will not be one rank, one pension.
Group Captain Gandhi, what difference does it make to the government should you choose to reject what is on offer?
The question here is very simple. We have been fighting for one rank, one pension, and the government is trying to give us one rank and 5 pensions. In fact, we are already getting that. 1 rank and 5 pensions, 1 rank and 7 pensions, 1 rank and 10 pensions. Basic contest here is 1 rank and 1 pension. Please understand that in army, we are very rank conscious. No senior should ever draw pension less than his junior. If there is a question of a Havaldar, he should not draw pension less than a Nayak. That is the basic principle on which we are adhering, on which the army works. And that is what we are demanding. And that is what BJP party and the Prime Minister had promised us. And I'm very sorry to say that they are reneging on their promise. They are not ready to fulfill it, and they're probably going back on their promise, which is not acceptable.
General Shankar Roy Chaudhary, critics of the movement General Satbir Singh leads says that if OROP is not allowed to happen in this way, General Satbir Singh and the others are denying, for example, the lowest rank of Jawans who have retired up to 4,000 rupees of pension, extra pension every single month. The point being made is that they are delaying the process. This is good. It brings more money to the table. It brings, in many cases, more food to the table. Isn't this what OROP should really be about? General Roy Chaudhary.
You know, OROP has been debated so much, its workings have been discussed so much that the average individual soldier has lost track of what is going on. So now we look forward to a simple, clear formula, who will get how much, and also this question what Group Captain Gandhi was saying, that 1 rank 7 pensions, 1 rank 8 pension. In fact, that is correct. Because, at least in the army I know, I can't say about the Air Force, they probably are the same. There are a number of various trades, about 300, 400 of various categories. Now, all these trades have their own scales of pay. There are 3 scales of pay, WXY, WXY.
Right, no, I take the point you're making.
And
so what you're basically trying to say, General, is that the process of equalization, which is meant to ensure that those who are in the same rank but have different pensions might in fact need to be given the opportunity to come up to the highest level of pensions within that same rank, which is why the veterans argue that this process needs to start every year until that equalization takes place. That's not going to happen, General. General Satbir Singh, let me ask you this.
I want to come in.
Yes, go ahead. That's not happening. 5 years is going to happen. 1 year revision to bring about equalization isn't going to happen. Are you willing to accept that, General Satbir?
No. So, I just want to request, are these the only soldiers where all these calculations are being done? When NFU was granted, did they carry out all these calculations? No. I want to say, 1 rank, 1 pension has only one definition, one calculation, and one implication.
Okay.
Now you're making, after 5 years, 1 rank, 5 pension, as Gandhi has said, not acceptable. Then why have you granted
Shekhar,
1 rank, 1 pension?
Shekhar, this definition of OROP, there can be a million definitions of OROP. At the end of the day, there can only be one that works. The fact of the matter is that one rank, one pension as defined by these veterans isn't being accepted. Do you believe that
Not
what happened
veterans,
today
by the parliament?
It's an important
By
point
the
that
parliament.
He says that it is a parliament definition
This
and that
has
the government
been
is
accepted
reneging
by the
on what has been
parliament.
stated in parliament. But at the end of the day, the finance minister has a choice to make, and he has made that choice. Do you believe what we have seen today is a bargaining position by the government, right? By saying that no, this is what it's going to be, or do you believe that negotiations are now over?
Look, first of all, as they say, the truism in all negotiation is that a good settlement in a negotiation is one that leaves both sides a little bit unhappy. Both sides thinking I gave away too much. I think this settlement will be a little bit like that. First of all, I think the BJP definitely erred in politicizing the issue to begin with. I think the Prime Minister made a mistake by going for an ex-serviceman's rally and making a commitment there. These are serious issues. You have to study them before making public commitments and before politicizing them, before seeking votes on that basis. But having done so, once he realized that there were bugs in this, there were problems, I would say that he has taken the courageous path. I wish he had taken it much earlier, so these very highly respected veterans were spared the torture of sitting in.
I don't agree. It is not.
Sir, I know that you don't agree.
It is the simplest. I don't agree with you. You are making a statement that it is difficult, not possible. Prime Minister has made something which was not there. Till 1973, there was 1 rank, 1 pension.
Okay.
It was withdrawn.
Sir, even now there will be 1 rank, 1 pension, but when two sides negotiate, one side cannot negotiate by saying, this is my definition.
Then
sir, what is
invited.
No, sorry, let me speak. What is the negotiation then?
Nobody has invited.
Sir, why should anybody, frankly, I disagree with you. I think soldiers of the country should not be involved in negotiations. And I think this OROP,
exactly what you're trying to say.
Disagree.
And you are not elected leaders, and you are not elected leaders of ex-servicemen.
I am sorry.
And I think you are getting used to politics.
I am sorry.
I think even this
sorry, it is not politics.
Sir, that's okay.
It is not politics, Shekhar. I will not permit you.
Sir, you can disagree with me. You can disagree with me, but look, even this solution. Sir, let me speak. It's a democracy.
General Sadbir, let Shekhar make his point. We've got plenty of time.
Sir, as a citizen, anything that's given to servicemen, I don't think any taxpayer complains. But this settlement also will cost the government upwards of 10,000 crores a year. All I'm saying is that, I've dealt with trade unions. I've dealt with unions in my organization, much tougher, and much more difficult than soldiers. And I will tell you, all negotiators, everybody in a situation like this knows that the settlement will not be a perfect one. I think this is obviously not perfect from your point of view, but if these reports are correct, I think this will be as perfect as practically possible. And I would plead with you with great humility to stop agitating it. It's just a very unedifying spectacle.
Okay. Before I come across to Group Captain Gandhi, I want to go across to Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Right.
General Sadbir, we'll come back to you in a moment. I just want to go across to Sudhanshu Trivedi. Shekhar made a point, Mr. Trivedi. The point is that it was a mistake for the BJP to go about politicizing 1 rank, 1 pension before actually having studied all the documents. The fact of the matter is, it is expensive and it cannot be afforded in the manner that these veterans want it to be. Does the BJP also believe that by politicizing it earlier, by committing to it, the government may have made a mistake?
And you say that we'll do it on the first day, we'll do it as...
First of all, I would like to say, whether it is the BJP or the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, this was not at all and never was a political issue. It was an issue of conviction and an emotional issue. As far as our soldiers and the veterans of army are concerned or the armed forces are concerned, it cannot be weighed in monetary value or in the monetary parameters.
But it is being weighed on that ground.
We are now almost on the verge of reaching a conclusion. The one rank, one pension is provided. Now the question of difference is arising on certain issues like when it should be revised. And on the basis of revision, there is a conflict in the interpretation of the definition. But with due respect and the utmost respect to the veterans, I would like to say there are certain norms. Like in any pension service or in any service, the revision is never done on yearly basis. There is a certain duration, like the Finance Commission comes on after 5 years, Pay Commission comes after 10 years, the Planning Commission, which is now Niti Aayog, gives the report after 5 years. So we have to put a certain interval. So every year if you look, so every month somebody is getting retired. So technically if you see, it's every month it is to be monitored that who is getting more pension or not. So ultimately you have to finally settle to a position in which, in my opinion, the government is trying its level best. And Finance Minister Shri Arun Jaitley has also made it very clear that yearly basis, since it is not provided in any service anywhere in the country, practically is also very difficult.
What was the problem in making this the first one?
A limit which should be acceptable to all the veterans.
General, I'll let you answer that by let you answer that by asking you one question. The point which is being made is that it is an administrative nightmare for the government to implement this revision 1 year onwards. They wanted 5 years because they need to figure out the entire process. It's not a monetary issue as only, it is an administrative exercise. There are millions of you in this country. Therefore, it cannot be, revision they say, can't happen every year.
So, who is responsible for the MOD, that is the Defence Minister? He does not find it difficult. He has worked out the total layout, the method of implementation, the revision every year. Ask the services. It takes just a press of a button. It is not administrative nightmare as being made out by Shekhar Gupta. It is absolutely simple. On 1st of July, whatever the pensions of the particular rank and the total service will be passed to the past pensioner.
Okay.
All the three services have already worked out its implementation. The pay cells only press the button and you will get the answer.
Okay, C.R. Keshavan.
It is not difficult. It has one definition. It has been assured. It must be implemented.
C.R. Keshavan.
Please.
The fact of the matter is that the government most likely is going to go by what they have actually revealed to the media today. Do you believe that rather than leaks to the media on what the draft of OROP will be, the Defence Minister, the Finance Minister, the Prime Minister, or maybe all three should have said, this is the way it is, take it or leave it, this is the way it is, it's up to you. But rather, the way Mr. Keshavan, the way this happened was sort of unusual. It was strange. It was leaks being passed out to journalists for an issue as important as this. Do you believe the way it has happened is wrong?
Vishnu, I totally agree with you. This is not an issue. This is not an issue. Sir, can I speak, please?
Go ahead, Mr. Keshavan.
This is not an issue which should be politicized. Unfortunately, the BJP has approached this issue in a very oblique, opaque and insensitive way. I think one important thing which should have been done today, you saw the Prime Minister listen to the Man Ki Baat of RSS. I think the Prime Minister should have reached out to these great war veterans and spoken to them.
But how is he not reached out to them?
But let me complete, Vishnu. The problem is it should have happened after the insensitive incident which happened on the eve of independence. See, however this pans out, the incident where they brutally mishandled and manhandled the veterans and evicted them will always be a blot and scar. I think that cannot be taken away, especially after that incident had happened, at the Delhi.
But everybody has condemned that.
Have reached out.
Everybody has condemned that.
Condemning after that, still there's, like you said,
there is nobody in the government, the BJP or anywhere who would say that what happened with that old soldier was correct. It's a mistake. The police have apologized. Let's move on.
Vishnu.
Yes.
Vishnu, yes. Actions are different. Your words have to be matched by deeds, which is sorely missing here. Shekharji talked about politicizing, of OROP by BJP. Please go back and listen to what the Prime Ministerial candidate said in Himachal. He mentioned Captain Vikram Batra and said, Dil mange more, and saying that we want more speech, which was roundly condemned by his mother. He was a war veteran who had died in Kargil. Today, the war veterans of this country are saying, Dil mange insaf, Dil mange nyay. You have politicized this issue, you asked votes for it, and today, you don't even have a transparent approach.